So, Honorable Minister and distinguished governors of both Kirkenes region and Murmansk region from Russia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my great pleasure and honor to be here today. Before I start my speech, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my personal gratitude to the organizers of the Kirkeneskonferensen and friends from the northern Norway. To tell the truth, this is not my first visit to this beautiful city. Last November, I was invited by my friend Rune to pay a private visit to this beautiful city. And I was surprised, astonished, or stunned by the beauty of the city. But as soon as I got on the airplane today, the beauty of winter of Kirkenes, in my opinion, is even more beautiful and striking. So this is the fifth or sixth visit of mine as new ambassador to Norway since I took up the job as ambassador to this country last May. You see, since I came to Norway as a new ambassador, I paid great importance to this region. And I've been here both on business trips and private trips. However, I never feel myself tired or bored during these travels and trips because I was always warmly received by local friends with great hospitality and consideration. In this regard, it could be one of the most important reasons that I must be present here today for this conference. Of course, it's not only because your warm hospitality which brought me here, but also the issue of the rapid development in the Arctic region, which made me irresistible to attend this conference. I share with you some of China's views on High North. As is known to all, the Arctic is currently under dramatic changes. In recent years, the acceleration of ice melting has brought about new development opportunities to the Arctic region, which will also significantly influence the landscape of global shipping, trade, and energy supply. The coming era of the new Arctic waterways will provide us with potential for shorter and faster shipping routes, which will definitely enhance the communications and interactions between Asia and Europe. Furthermore, the Arctic is considered to be the next destination of natural resources. With an abundant reserve of minerals and oil and gas, the Barents Sea is steadily becoming an important international arena, both geographically and economically. Under the new situation of a changing Arctic, it will be of great importance for the Arctic and non-Arctic states to address these trans-regional issues in a joint way. In the meantime, new opportunities also bring new challenges. Likewise, the habitat of human beings has been significantly influenced by the natural environmental changes in the Arctic. Therefore, it's necessary to further carry out relevant research so as to deepen our understanding of the process and mechanism of the natural environmental changes in the Arctic region. The economic development in the Barents region might affect the unique ecological environment, culture, society in this area. So the international community also needs to pay close attention to how to realize sustainable development. What's more, the Arctic is still facing a number of trans-regional issues. By enhancing cooperation, the international community could effectively handle and find solutions to relevant issues with joint hands. Against this backdrop, the cooperation has become the mainstream in dealing with the Arctic issues. Indeed, for instance, we have witnessed lots of remarkable developments which have taken place in the Barents region in the past decade. Cross-border traffic is getting busier and more frequent. The improvement of infrastructure and free visa policies have contributed to promote the mutual exchanges between countries within this region. In the near future, as the commercial possibilities of the Arctic waterways are becoming more and more accessible, cooperation between the Barents region and non-Arctic states is expected to be further extended. And this will surely make notable benefits to the people in the Barents region as well as in the rest of the world. Guests, ladies and gentlemen, as a near Arctic state and a potential user of the Arctic waterways, it's natural and reasonable for China to participate in the Arctic issues and make its own contributions as a constructive partner. China always maintains that the Arctic and non-Arctic states should become cooperation partners. In China's perspective, both Arctic and non-Arctic states need to carry out in-depth discussions on how to further develop their partnership of cooperation based on mutual respect, trust, interaction, and benefits. China holds that this partnership of cooperation should be established on the legal basis of recognition and respect of each other's rights, so as to commit ourselves to peace, stability, and sustainable development of the region. To this end, we must understand and trust each other at the political level and carry out joint research activities to address the trans-regional issues. China will make its own efforts to achieve this goal. China considers the Arctic Council as the most important regional intergovernmental forum to discuss issues of environmental protection and sustainable development in the Arctic. The Arctic Council has also been playing an important role in the areas of coordinating the Arctic scientific research, promoting environmental protection in the Arctic, and enhancing cooperation of economic and social development in the region. The Council's studies and discussions on the trans-regional issues, such as climate change and Arctic shipping, have already made a notable influence on the decision-makings of relevant international organizations. China appreciates the important role which the Arctic Council has been playing in the Arctic issues. We hope that the Arctic Council could continue to be a cooperation platform for the Arctic and non-Arctic states to work in close cooperation and sound interaction and to jointly address the trans-regional issues. The non-Arctic countries' participation in the Arctic Council's work as observer will be conducive for all relevant parties to join hands to effectively deal with all kinds of pressing issues, both of regional and trans-regional nature. It will also help the Arctic Council to have a broader view on the trans-regional issues of the Arctic and promote the international prestige of the Council. China respects the sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction of the Arctic states, attaches importance to the Arctic scientific research and environmental protection, and supports the principles and objectives of the Arctic Council. China respects the values, interests, culture, and traditions of Arctic indigenous peoples and other Arctic inhabitants. China is most willing to further enhance the relationship with indigenous peoples' organizations, promote its understanding of the concerns of the indigenous peoples, and actively participate in relevant projects and explore possibilities of cooperation so as to make contributions to the benefits of the indigenous peoples in the region. As early as in 2006, China has already applied for the observatory status of the Council, which made China the first country among all the applicants at present. By participating in the relevant activities of the Arctic Council as an ad hoc observer state since 2007, China has deepened its understanding of the Council. In December 2012, China submitted to the Council its updated document regarding the application for permanent observer status. It's China's earnest wish to follow closely the development of the Arctic and deepen its understanding of the Arctic issues by participating in the Arctic Council's work, so as to further enhance its communications and cooperations with all relevant parties, improve its capacity of Arctic scientific research, and join hands with all parties concerned to address the trans-regional issues in the Arctic. China has both the willingness and ability to make contributions to the Council's work, strengthen cooperation with relevant countries within the Arctic Council, and by working together to promote peace, stability, and sustainable development in the Arctic region. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Sustainable development in the Arctic region is in the interests of all countries in the world, since the Arctic economic development will bring new challenges to the unique ecological environment, culture, and society in the region. It calls for all Arctic states and the whole international community to make joint efforts and take economic, environmental, and social factors into balanced considerations so as to ensure the Arctic development in a sustainable way. Currently, China has not carried out any exploration activities in the Arctic. China believes that the future development of the Arctic should be preceded from the perspective of protecting the environment and respecting the interests and concerns of the indigenous peoples so as to achieve sustainable development in the Arctic. The concrete developing activities should comply with the domestic laws of the relevant Arctic states, as well as the international treaties. China appreciates the forceful measures taken by the Arctic states to protect the Arctic environment and their positive roles in global environmental corporations. China is not only the largest developing country in the world, but also a responsible partner in the international arena. Though China is still facing lots of tough issues, such as economic development, poverty alleviation, and improvement of the people's livelihood, etc. But it attaches great importance to issues related to climate change and environment, and has actively participated in and pushed forward the process of addressing climate change. China is also the first developing country to adopt and implement a national climate change program. Furthermore, China has already acceded to and has been carefully implementing international conventions and protocols on Arctic environmental protection, and has made tangible achievements in the field of greenhouse gas and persistent organic pollutant emission control. China will make unremitting efforts to continue making contributions to addressing the issues of climate change and environmental protection of the Arctic region. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, China is looking forward to continually making contributions to peace, stability, and sustainable development of the Arctic by cooperation with relevant parties within the Arctic Council. As the famous proverb goes, unity is strength. As the famous, I'm fully convinced that as long as we work in unity and close cooperation in the spirit of common will, the Arctic development is coming to bring us a prosperous and bright future. Thank you for your attention. Tusen tak.